What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're doing a 100% race, the final one of the season, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's on this weekend in real life F1, and I think for maybe a while this might be the last one that I do. Well, we'll see. I do want to do another 100% race at Monaco with sim damage. That would be absolutely phenomenal. We'll save that for closer to Christmas, I think. But today, it's the final race of the season, and I'm going to jump in Romain Grosjean's Haas F1 car, seeing as Romain himself can't send off his own season. Yeah, it's really sad. That's we're not going to see him again in F1, I don't think. So I wish him all the best for his future, and hopefully he recovers quickly. But back to this race, we're going to start from the back. 15th place, disqualified myself at turn 1 by cutting there, so it's nearly impossible to cut turn 1, but I managed to do it. And so we're starting at the back here in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 3-stop race today, apparently, going on to the softs twice after the first stint, and then finishing on mediums. I'm going to see if a medium strategy is the way to go. It's 3 seconds slower, but with safety cars, you can't really go by the textbook, really. You just have to play it by ear. So that's what we're going to do. Getting ready now for 55 laps of the Yas Marina circuit. It's 5 red lights, and the race is now underway. Someone's going to drive through right off the start, I noticed behind me, so that was for jumping the start. Down into turn 1. This is nearly a 2-hour-long race, so there's no need to go throwing it away in the first corner. Ghosting is off, and damage is on full, so you can't be an absolute cowboy down into turn 1, otherwise you're going to have a lengthy wait to get into the next race. But anyway, through the first sector, and what do you know? Oh my god, that racing point going everywhere. Safety car has been deployed. That racing point came absolutely yeeting in, but they had McDonald's Wi-Fi working for them, which caused absolute mayhem for those around us. And so we've lost a bit of our front wing. I think it's yellow. We've overtaken a Mercedes on the way into the pit lane, no less. And we're up in a P12 briefly. But, yeah, into the pit lane. We're going to change the tyres. We're going to go into mediums. We're going to fix the front wing. And we're going to get our race back in order, as both the AlphaTauris are double stacking in the lane. So, yeah, this will probably send us towards the back, if I'm honest. But we'll have fresh tyres. We'll have a full front wing. And we'll be able to go again from there. I don't know what everyone else is doing up the front. It looks like the top 10 have opted to stay out, which is interesting, because they started on those softs, they qualified on those, and well, they're happy on that tire. You know, it's a long way to go. Any strategy could play out, because it's double the distance of a 50% race. You have double the tire life. Tire scaling is normally at 2 times, but now it's only at 1 times, and you can go quite deep into the Grand Prix, and it might be beneficial for those just to stay out of the carnage of some of the drivers around, and stretch it until the next safety car period, which could well not be too far away. As we get underway for green flag running, you might notice that not everyone got off to the cleanest restart. I think that racing point up ahead had a slow reaction, and he's gone deep into turn 1, and now he rejoins the track a little bit dangerously there. We negotiate past him. There's yellow flag all around the circuit still. I don't know if this is a glitch or whether we're allowed to overtake people or not, but that needs to be sorted. Oh my goodness, someone's going really slow. That's my teammate, I think. Sebastian Settle up the road in the other Haas. But also there was a Renault who's being driven by an AI car, someone who's left the session. And because I've turned ghosting off, what would normally be a ghost is now a solid car, and we have to dodge some dodgy AI drivers. But that's all fine. We've got past that, and we can move on to our teammate up the inside, or are we going to go outside down into the triple chicane at the end of this straight? He does cover off, so no teammate-friendly pass allowed here. And Sebastian holds on for the time being. I'm gonna chill out. This is a long race. We've got another Red X AI up the road, which again might be driving erratically, might brake super early. You never quite know. I think the AI is on whatever the default setting is. I think around 40 or 60 level AI. So I don't know, we'll have to ask Arab what that's like to race. No, I'm joking, I'm joking! I'm joking. Another one. Hello. Yeah, not used to racing. You see the AI? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you for having complete tunnel vision there. That's wonderful. I thought it would break super early. That's why these stupid AI. I mean, they're bad enough at the best of times in single player when there's no lag involved. But when it comes to online, the AI just have no sense at all. One corner they'll break pretty late. Others they'll break 100 meters too early, and then drive with no mirrors, as you saw with that McLaren at the last corner. So that was fun. But we got a lap in clear air finally, and we actually went purple air, 1 minute 40.1, which is rather surprising. I will say that much. But yeah, hopefully that's the last of the lap cars, or the last of the AI cars for this race, and hopefully we can just deal with actual humans in this one. Don't know who I trust more at this stage. It's pretty bad when I'm trusting actual players than AI. But that's the level we got to. That's a bit of a squeeze for those three up ahead. And the McLaren rejoins nearly on top of my teammate. I go around the outside of him and the Alfa Romeo. It's going to be side by side for the two teammates down into this chicane between straights. I've turned across, I think, that Alfa Romeo down into the braking zone. We're going to try and get past QWERTY if we can. He has an oversteer moment and nearly takes us out on the exit of that corner. But we're through now for the top 5. And that was just a little too spicy. That was just a little too close for comfort, if I do say so. But somehow, we've got through it all. And my teammate doing a bit of bulldozing. He's unhappy at the Ferrari organization. He decides to barge them out the way. It's not going to help you get a drive back at that team, son. Just drive well, and you might have another chance. Anyway, we get past him. Up on a P4. He nearly rear ends me. The very next straight, but we hold on. This Ferrari driver is a little bit rattled after that rear ending, and I don't blame him. Maybe his tyres are overheated. He's driving a little bit cautious. I don't know if he's got front wing damage or not. The right hand side looks intact, at least. We had a little look into that hotel section, but in the end, it's not the best overtaking area, believe it or not, despite it being a heavy braking zone. Oh my goodness, this guy is a bit erratic. Just going to wait for a good opportunity. Very slow apex speed here. Trying to get on the power nice and early. Because his apex speed is so slow, he actually gets a decent exit, and we can't outdrive him down into turn 1. So we have to wait, bide our time. Again, really slow apex speed. Not a great exit this time, but the straight isn't long enough to get past him in the corner. And so we just have to bide our time again for another few corners. He's got a 3-second time penalty. In fact, everyone around me has got a 3-second time penalty. Strict corner cutting rules are on for this race, as all my races. Get up the inside of that lapped racing point, and we can now set after this guy, who will probably have DRS on this straight, and he does. So that makes life a little bit more difficult. I think he's burning a bit of ERS as well to stay in front. So we're going to let him burn that. We're going to have a little look down into this chicane. But in the end, his metal under brakes is pretty good. But his exit speed not so good. We out-traction him massively there. And we get ourselves up onto the podium now in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hopefully things now will start to calm down as we head into the triple chicane side by side for those two behind me. And the safety car has been deployed for the second time. So it looks like things are not going to calm down anytime soon, as the field is going to be bunched up. We might get the lead of the Grand Prix here. Tudor in the lead, and Dylan West, brother of John West, pulls into the pit lane, and we get the lead. So it may not be so calm for the overall pack, but I think for us now, for the immediate future, we might be able to have a bit of a clear race as we're out in front on relatively fresh medium compound tyres. Just looking at the race director, Tudor comes out in P3, but he's on brand new mediums. Ours are about 8 laps old. If it was a 50% race, the tyres would be, that's quite a big difference in terms of tyre wear. Because this is a 100% race, 8 laps is more like 4. So it shouldn't be too bad. We'll just try and run as deep as we can, and then maybe go softs to the end of the Grand Prix, depending on tyre wear. It's really all up in the air at this stage, but the immediate reaction is that we're probably going to have to stop again in this race just to get to the end. So it could be either mediums or it could be softs. It just depends on what the tyre wear is like. But anyway, we're getting ready for green flag running. We're calming things down as we get ready, coming out of the final corner. We're going to leave this really late, and we're going to punch it now. Up and rich and overtake. I didn't do the best job of warming up my tyres, so I think my logic was, if I've got cold tyres, I'm going to give everyone else cold tyres, and we'll all be on a level playing field. That's why the restart was so slow in a way. So we get away, but not by much. You can see Tudor 900 got past QWERTY in P2 and is now challenging us for the win now. And like I said, he's on fresher tyres, pretty fast driver, so it may be difficult to keep him behind. We may be able to work with him as he goes for a move up the inside into the hotel section, but in the end backs out of it. So at this point, maybe his pace is better than ours, and it might be worth just taking a sidestep and letting him lead the race, and I can just follow behind in his slipstream and DRS and save some fuel maybe. But for the time being, we're not going to wait for him. If he wants to get past us, he has to make the move. But if he does, it's not going to be the end of the world, because we're in a slightly compromised position relative to those around us. But we do set the fast up of the Grand Prix that quickly Tudor is on our case as the DRS has now been enabled. And that's a major swing in his favour, I would say. Rich and overtake now. This will be a good test as to whether we can defend against DRS. But it looks like that is a mute point. So we're going to let him go. He goes around the outside, and he takes the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's still very early days. There's still 42 laps left in this race, and I'm probably going to guess there's going to be at least one or two more safety cars. So there's no point fighting to the death here over the win when there's still so much more racing to come. So that's a fast start of the Grand Prix, though. 1 minute 38.4. That is awfully rapid. He did have the help of DRS to get that. Anyway, we march on to the next lap, and all of a sudden Tudor has forgotten how to drive now that he's in front of us. And he's under pressure again. So it's a bit of a weird situation. I'm going to stick it in lean. I'm not going to overtake. He goes defensive into this corner, and all of a sudden he goes really slowly. I mean, it's a little bit odd. I don't know. Maybe he's just had a bad lap or two. But someone who sets a 38.4 and then immediately dips into the 40s, that's a bit suspect if you ask me. But we'll see. Anyway, we're up in a rich and overtake. He has driven a little bit slower since getting into the lead, so we're going to put him under pressure and see if we can up the ante a little bit. We go round the outside into the triple chicane, and that is us up into the lead again. So looks like his leading pace wasn't great. We're going to see if ours is a little bit better and whether he can run with us. Already the gap is elongating quite a bit from us to, say, 4th place. It's only, I'd say, 3 cars in the running to win this race at this point, as we have to fend off a little look there from Tudor behind. Crucially, we don't have any penalties against our name, so we get held up by a lap car. That's absolutely wonderful. Getting shafted by my own rules of turning off the ghosting. Thank you very much, Ben. Pat on the back. But yeah, everyone around us has penalties. 3 seconds for the 2 behind, and then the guy in 3rd has got 11 seconds, and then my teammate's got 5 as he gets overtaken by LTU, who has 3 seconds himself. So we're putting ourselves in a pretty good position here by just keeping it clean. This is a marathon, not a sprint, at least in F1 terms. Tudor gets back up the inside, by the way, which, again, I don't mind. I really don't mind. We're pulling away from those behind, apart from Dylan West, who is actually closing us back in. VSC has been deployed, and this might throw a spanner into the works. If anyone decides to make a pit stop under VSC, no one does, because we couldn't get to the pit lane in time, and it's all fine again. So, yeah, I don't mind squabbling with this guy a little bit. If it means that we're not falling into the clutches of too many cars behind, that should be fine. He can push and get as many corner cutting penalties as he likes, but at the end of the day, if there's a late race safety car, then you know, people with a lot of penalties against their name, with a lot of baggage, they're going to be in trouble because people like myself or maybe others who don't have any penalties can literally go from P10 to winning maybe if the field is bunched up enough at the end of the Grand Prix. This is what you got to plan for, and so for the last 20 laps, you know, I haven't been going flat out. I've probably been going at maybe 80%, just trying to stay within the bounds of the track, look after the tires, because you never know how long a stint is going to be, whether we need to stretch these out to get to a next safety car period. So yeah, while this guy has been squabbling with us a little bit, I've been tolerant to it. But we're getting to a point now where we're going to start pushing as we get into the lead now. We are now going to see if this guy can run with us.
Let's see if you bastards can do 90.
One of my favorite clips from Back to the Future. That's a literal representation of what we're going to do in this race. We're now going to step it up to maximum pace now, maximum push before we make our next pit stop in this Grand Prix. So here we go, up in a rich and overtake on the straights, but using higher fuel modes. We have been saving the tires for the last 15 laps or so, but now we're really going to gun for it and see if we can get outside of 1 second. We're just teetering on the edge of that now as we run through the first sector. One thing I've noticed between myself and Tudor is I think he's a little bit faster on the straights, maybe running less downforce than us. But I feel like we make up a bit of time through Sector 3, which is relatively fortuitous for us. But we've broken outside of 1 second, and that's the hardest thing to do. Because now he's not getting free lap time, he's not getting free drag reduction from being within 1 second. So that's the biggest hurdle to do. There's another safety car! All that pushing for nothing. It's, in the end, it's okay. We're going to come in, I think, at the end of this lap. We're going to chuck on another set of mediums. What I do want to check, though, is my race director, because I don't think I've got any warnings for corner cutting, which I don't. The only warning I do have was for contact with another driver, but that does not count towards corner cuts. So, into the pit lane we go. Tyre wear is at 30-odd%. We did 25-ish laps on these tyres. So we should be able to go to the end of the Grand Prix on this incoming set of medium compound tyres. And, barring any unscheduled pit stops, this should be us done for the day as we rejoin in the lead, which is what you want to see. So this is going to bunch up the pack again. Everyone's going to have an equal chance of getting back into it. LTU and Sebastian Vettel, will have a chance to have a crack at this Grand Prix. They've got less penalties than the guy in third, Dylan West, so they might be half a chance of getting into it. But safety car's probably going to stay out for another lap. No, it's not. It's coming in at the end of this one, so we literally only get 5 seconds notice before going back to green flag running. Thank you for that one, FIA. As we come through the final corner again, we're going to do the same strategy. We're going to leave it really late and then go now as we go up in a rich and overtake. Very crucial not to press that overtake button too early. Otherwise, you will go absolutely spinning into the barriers, which is awfully embarrassing. But anyway, we stretch out the gap again to Mr. Tudor 900. And now we're on a little bit more equal footing with those around us. We were at a bit of a handicap. We had 8-lap older tyres than those around us. Now it's all even Steven, and our pace is actually a little bit better than those around us. So we're able to use that pace to just stretch away. We did set a fast start of the Grand Prix many laps ago, 37.1. We're fast forwarding quite dramatically through this race now. As not much happened. I was just driving consistently. Again, doing my best to not exploit the track limits. You might notice I have picked up a time penalty now. The penultimate corner was one that I just kept cutting a few laps in the last few minutes, and that's given us a penalty. So that's a bit of a wake-up call to us. We need to get that under control. But now we've got a gap. We can afford to maybe back off again a little bit and just consolidate the position that we're in. But at the moment, we're just rattling our way through the lap cars, ticking over the laps, getting towards the end of the Grand Prix. We might be in a position where we might be able to go onto soft compound tyres and secure an even better fastest lap, but I won't do that unless the gap to Tudor gets around 12, 13. Oh, he's made a pit stop himself. He has made a pit stop. He's done what I was thinking about doing. So he's gone on to the soft compound tyres, and he's going to see if he can get himself a bonus point in this race. He drops to third, nearly fourth, and so his fight will be trying to get back into P2. But the VSC has been deployed, and this might be a good chance for me to come into the pit lane and get somewhat of a free pit stop, maybe. The VSC has been out for nearly half a lap, so it might be ending in a few seconds, but this could prove to be beneficial for us. The gap now to P2 is 30 seconds, so we should be able to get away with the lead of the race once we do make this stop and have the best tyres out of anyone. So off we go, onto the new tyres, VSC ends, and it will be close to P2, but it will quickly escalate the gap over the next few laps. Tudor 900 sets the fastest lap with a 1 minute 35.6. However, we're going to see what our response is on this very lap. So here we go. This is the flying lap, and I think this will probably be the best lap of the race we'll do here on out. So take it in. You can see we're low on fuel at this point. We're just going to get this lap in, and then we're going to go into fuel conservation mode just to make sure that we can get to the end of the race. But really attacking this third sector. You've really, in order to be faster at Abu Dhabi, especially with strict corner cutting rules on, you've got to really push that fine edge. You've really got to attack all the curbs, but you can't overstep the marks. It's such a risk. You're risking so much, and it's such a gamble as well. How much risk do you want to throw in? Do you want to be fast, but do you want to, risk getting a corner cut here or there? It's you've got to toe that fine line, and I think for the most part we've done that pretty well. But a few laps ago we did go through a phase where we did cut the penultimate corner a few times. But there's another safety car. There's another safety car. This is what, the third of the race. And we probably had about 2 or 3 VSCs as well, maybe more. But this is what I've been harping on about. A late race safety car can change everything. So into the pit lane we go. We're going to bolt on whatever tyres we've got left. We only have a used set of soft compound tyres. My crew is not ready. Thankfully, the guys in P2 and 3 made their stop. They reacted to the safety car first. So we've essentially got a free pit stop. If that wasn't the case, that would have been very close. We might have lost the lead there. However, we should be fine. But like I said, this is a used set of tyres. We don't have any new sets left. This is the set of soft compound tyres that I used in the one-shot qualifying lap. So they've done a lap and a corner cut in quali. So tyre wear really on this tyre shouldn't be much. I think it's about 1 or 2%. We're going to drive really slowly on this return to green flag running because I spy my teammate on the back straight and he's got 3 seconds worth of time penalties. We could make this a Haas 1-2. So I'm just waiting for him to catch up. The drivers immediately behind me all have 6 seconds worth of penalties. So there's every chance that he could get in the mix here and complete this full house for Haas. So that's what we're going to try and do as we're getting ready to gear up for the final 2 laps of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The safety car has already gone into the pit lane, turned it off. It's cold. Bert Maylander is having a cup of tea now. It's been so long since he's been out on the circuit, but we're underway now for green flag running. And I decided to go a little bit earlier than what I did in my previous restarts because I had a lap car in my way between me and P2. The guy who was in P2 had to wait for the finish line to overtake said lap car, and so that gave me a bit of margin. However, Tudor is coming right back at me. His straight line speed is insane. Down into the triple chicane. He comes from nowhere to dive bomb us into that corner. And I tell you what, that has got to be that's a really bad move. That's so dodgy. And I'm the dodgy dive bomb enthusiast, the king of dodgy dive bombs. I don't know what he was thinking, but he went for it. I tried to open the steering to avoid, but he went in so deep that even then contact was inevitable. And he went round and he's dropped the P5. My teammate, Sebastian Settle, is now up into P4. And he's looking pretty good for P2 in this race. Because like I said, he's got one less penalty than those around him. And he's within 3 seconds of LTU and P2. So this very well could be a 1-2 for Haas, as well as completing the full house. We're looking like getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the last lap. I didn't get pole position. That's right, I didn't get pole position, so it can't be a full house. So it can be a full house for everything that I tried to do. I attempted to do, if that makes sense. Anyway, coming through the final sector now. This has been a pretty eventful Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're actually only one corner cut penalty warning away from getting an extra penalty. We come across the line, we get the win, we get the fastest lap, and Sebastian Settle completes the 1-2 for Haas. Oh, baby. GG's all around to everyone who stayed and completed the race. It's not easy to do a full 100% race at the best of times, let alone in my lobbies when there's lag, when there's strict corner cutting, full damage. I realize it's not the easiest task to do, but you know, fair play. Congratulations to everyone who made it to the end. I think the top 10 made it to the end, top 9. The guys who were 3 laps down might be AI cars. But regardless, good job to everyone for making it to the end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you need to see plenty more racing game content. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you want to get involved in these lobbies. Now that we're done with rattling through these 100% races across all the calendar, I'm going to start doing some more console gameplay. I know I keep saying this, but I will get around to it eventually. Now that everything is calming down with the F1 season, F1 esports is coming to an end, I should hopefully have maybe a little bit more time, but we'll wait and see. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.